Good morning, afternoon, evening, appropriate time of day. I don't know. Welcome to this week's Burning Questions. Hello, Kemi, Fastcart, Celis. Joining me this week, as you can see, the cast is particularly not sexy, I'm afraid. Apart from, of course, Nitro.
Hold on, that's TOS friendly.
So, we have with us Nitro Typat, or otherwise known as Amon. Hello.
Hi.
Noskavian, otherwise known as Isaac. Hello.
Greetings.
Tina, as we like to call him, because I couldn't be bothered to start typing out Carlisle every single time because I'm a lazy motherfucker. Otherwise known as Xavier. Hello.
Lived next to Scotland his whole life, doesn't know how to type Carlisle correctly.
I know how to type it, cannot be asked to type it.
Hi.
And our special guest is Traven, otherwise known as Mo. We'll just go with Mo.
Salutations.
I
love the fact that we were like, hey, we need a bartender. And a guy named Mo shows up. And then his last name pops up when he rolls for something. And we're like, really? Really?
Well, you see, it's double
Wait,
joke.
what was his last name again?
Lester.
Lester.
Yeah. We're going to have to call him, and we're going to have to prank call the bar sometime and ask for Mike Hunt.
I was thinking about in the interview asking him, be like, how are you with prank calls?
Did you really? I did not remember that.
I was tempted to. I never actually did.
So,
Well, I figure if you're going to be a bartender, you have to have the name Mo.
Yeah.
he was born a snake charmer, he'll die a snake charmer.
Could have been Barney. That would have been hilarious.
Oh, come
It
on,
would have
brain.
given you an excuse to burp.
Could have gone with Sam.
Oh, yeah.
Coach.
He does know everybody's name.
I could always just pick up a nickname later.
Last session was, very much more of a downtime thing, but we did get to introduce your new bartender, Traven, who's, as far as we exist, is a long-time watcher. How did you like being in the game?
It's different. Like I said before, I've played a lot of RPGs, but Vampire the Masquerade it's different than what I'm used to. So that's why I always have questions about, okay, what am I rolling? What button do I push here?
That's fine. I mean, that's pretty much part of the job of the storyteller is to say, you want this and you want this. And it's also
like most other RPGs, your group is kind of making up the story. Here, the storyteller is kind of guiding everyone through the story.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Vancouver. Excellent game the other night, by the way. I enjoyed lurking. I'm going to bore you all with an interesting fact about. An interesting fact about Vancouver by Night. In their last session, from the Anarchs, their coterie was given a car to go and do something in, and they called it the Gothmobile. And me, being completely ignorant of everything that Vancouver by Night know, I typed in, that's also the name of a really good Vampire Beach Babes song. And Vancouver by Night said, actually, we have the lead singer from Vampire Beach Babes do music for us. And I'm like, my God! And then the lead singer from Vampire Beach Babes popped up in chat, and I'm like, oh my God! Oh, I thought that was very cool.
That's
if
awesome.
you haven't checked out Vancouver by Night, check out Vancouver by Night. And if you haven't checked out Vampire Beach Babes, fucking check out Vampire Beach Babes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think you mentioned that that was the song that we would hear when we were in Kalos Haven. It was one of the songs by them. I actually never realized that was a vampire, like, not really a parody, but like a cover. ish type deal.
Yeah.
Because I never listened to the lyrics. I just thought it was the normal. What is it? Bird of
Doing the
world?
two mow mow.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm trying to stop myself from singing the song.
Sorry.
But yeah, so you said, Draven, you've got a lot of experiences with other RPGs. Tell us a bit about your background in RPGs. Not the
Okay.
green screen.
Yeah. I started with, of course, like pretty much everybody starts. Started with D&D. Had a bunch of friends played it when I was young. The one that I got into the most, though, was the old D6 Star Wars RPG, which I still actually have all of my old books for. And now me and some friends are doing D&D. What is it? What are they up to? 5th edition, I think now, on Roll20. So we do that. We do that occasionally. And now I'm trying out. Oh, I've also played Torg, Shadowrun. Those were just kind of like little one-off games that I played, but mostly D&D and Star Wars. But
Nice.
vampires, I'm catching on to it.
It is different. A quick interruption, though, I'm afraid. In about half an hour, that's 9 o'clock JST. I'm not savvy with time zones. What are time zones?
8 o'clock EST.
Vancouver by Night is going to do a major announcement for the upcoming charity stream on the 26th. I think that's the one that Vancouver by Night will be storytelling himself as well, so that's going to be extra special.
Cool.
Tell me if I'm wrong on this, Vancouver by Night, but I believe you have Shane Easton from LA by Night on the charity stream as well, which is she's fucking awesome. Anyway, carrying on. Tina, I see your little mute icon, so I'm going to pick on you because you're muted.
Sorry.
There you go.
I have loud kids. Be glad I have it muted. They were just raging. As they do.
Was it against the machine?
Yeah, I don't want to bring that up right now, but yeah.
God machine.
Sorry, yeah.
Have you seen the response to that?
Oh my
think you were
god,
the
who
one
have you
that
cut?
did.
Oh my god, Vancouver by Night. That's exciting. Sorry. Sorry. Tina, last session. Thoughts, highlights.
I can't tell if
I
you're
feel like-
sleeping.
I'm thinking. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to respond as me and not Xavier at the moment. Because Xavier would be like, my coterie shit at coming up with ideas for this fucking haven. I even added you guys and was like, hey, if you got ideas, bring them to the table. And everybody was like, that's pretty.
No stripper poles.
So, yeah. Although we got it figured out, hey, at least the planning part, and we upgraded some other stuff. That was good. So our haven is starting to be kind of a coterie haven instead of a bar. Yeah,
Or a mix
starting
of
to feel a
both.
little better. Yeah. Dolores is a cunt.
I fucking love
Dolores is
Dolores.
awesome.
Yeah, I think Mo's gonna be good. It's funny though because Dolores being the manager now, quote unquote, and she's learning all this stuff, but then Mo's in there and is learning all this stuff, and so I can't wait to walk in and have Mo and Dolores argue with each other behind the bar on how to pour a tequila sunrise or some shit. Whether it's orange juice first or tequila first.
Dolores is just going to be like, you can't serve that. That's going to burn them.
Probably.
Yes, fast cut. That's what I want for my shirt, Nitro. If Dolores dies, I riot.
Okay. Should be an
We'll,
easy
we'll,
pick.
we'll change the name to Tequila at Sundown.
I mean, that just ensures neither of them die, because if you kill Harry, we kill Dolores.
You bitch.
Mutual destruction.
I don't think I'm as on board with this type of riot.
When he's returned, any particular highlights that came out? Oh, hi, Stormy. Any particular highlights that stood out for you from the last session?
Me?
No? Tavi's
No,
just
nothing.
asked, does Dolores even have a basic education? She has the
I would-
basic education of how to read and write, and then she's picked up shit from being a blood doll for so long about kindred society. That's probably about it. She
And-
didn't need
I
much.
I don't know how much the whole humanity system that vampires have will affect this, but I feel like at
Oh,
least
dear.
Amon Amon is kind of almost pseudo adopted Dolores, because he's like, oh, you poor child. I don't even remember how old Dolores is. She's in her like 20s, right? Mid 20s. But he's like, oh, you poor child, you know nothing about this world. Let me help you be a proper human being.
Yeah, I imagine like her ghoul family probably would have quote unquote homeschooled her, but really only taught her skills that they deemed relevant or necessary or useful.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of why, like, I'm pretty sure this might have been a meta mistake by me, but I'm pretty sure we were told this before by somebody, and about how like blood dolls are brought up and this and that. It might have been Harry, but that's why when you guys are like, "What? You don't understand how this works?" and Amon's just sitting there like, "Yeah, she's ignorant."
Nitro. We'll start with the bro jar this week. Last game highlights.
Well, it ended
Thoughts?
by marriage.
Yeah, you played me well.
In a very terrible way. I
But
did
did you
get
leave
out
the
of a very. No, I did not leave the ring.
Then you really.
Yeah, well, that wasn't like, that's more of a, Amon's not going to start a new family. He might be a little hesitant to, when he sees them, maybe move on without him, but he can't do anything about it, so it's whatever. But yeah, he wasn't gonna. I definitely did think about that, and I was gonna, if anybody asked, yeah, I did keep the ring. But other than that, I felt kind
Before
of
you move on,
bad because
do you think
Mhm.
there's going to be any lasting repercussions from leaving your wife and child? You
I
bastard.
definitely think so. Yeah, I definitely have a feeling that you will come up with something, and I'm really worried. That's why I told Tina that I was like, I'm gonna need Xavier to help me like scrub records and be like, Amon's gone. You can't find him. Stop trying. You know, and that might only solve some of the issues. But like I said, when we talked about doing this, I left her the house that has a security system. I have a post turn. I can get into the house without letting anybody know, so I can make sure that they're safe. But they won't know that I'm around. So
You,
Just give him my address. The dog will keep him away.
you screwed me out of playing Karen, so I was going to have to get you back.
Now, this is just me thinking and theory crafting and all that stuff, and time scale wise would not happen. But how cool would it be if Amon's daughter grows up and she kind of becomes obsessed with finding her father, and then like as she's like finding more information, she kind of stumbles upon this whole vampire world, and she thinks maybe they kidnapped or killed her father, and then she starts like training to be a badass vampire hunter to hunt down and like avenge her father's death.
What if Isaac made a lasting impression on her, and during the whole process, instead of becoming a vampire hunter, she seeks out the Hakata family?
The Hakata. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Luckily, that is long term, and I don't
Or
have to really worry about it.
Later,
But,
Ramon will deal with that. Not now. Not now. Mon.
right.
or
but yeah,
maybe.
no,
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say that those are very valid.
Or maybe she could awaken as a mage and just become like a really powerful necromancer and can just control vampires like puppets.
On the vampire hunter side, though, Shiver and I can get a little laugh out of that because of parts of my backstory. So that one might actually be more likely. But the Hakata thing is definitely, considering she made like a little voodoo doll or whatever.
Any past highlights or any other thoughts on the last session?
I did feel bad that I didn't really contribute much to the coterie, but even having, the coterie domain, but even having that on my mind for the last couple of weeks, I don't know what I could have contributed because my brain doesn't do urban planning. So like, I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry I didn't come with anything, but Amon's kind of indifferent and he doesn't really care about the domain. He cares about Dolores in the domain, which is why he was like, apartment, living quarters, bed. But other than that, he doesn't really care about the bar or how it looks. He's kind of okay with
And
whatever
Dolores doesn't
coterie
know
domain
any of
is.
that stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's why I jokingly said that's why I popped my head out. I was like, you haven't eaten anything but frozen yogurt and alcohol, have you? Because I knew she was going to answer what. Mhm.
She's going to walk in one day and she's going to be like, have you guys heard about this invention called pizza?
Pizza. Oh
And
man.
Cola Coca.
Yeah.
We
I would
can
think it'd be
start
called
paying
Madoos.
Dolores. Yeah, we can start paying Dolores in pizza, and she can refer to us as her Zalowin. I don't know if anyone read that book, but
Mm.
no.
Did you guys know that there's like dark fizzy water out there that like it kind of makes you feel a little bit jittery, but it doesn't make your head all dizzy like the alcohol in here does?
Have you heard of this thing called coffee? In the morning, it wakes you up. Wow.
Dolores, why are you drinking it cold? You can have hot coffee?
Oh no, we're getting her an espresso machine.
Oh God.
I'm sorry. When did you start spending our money?
I mean, if we have a
I have
espresso
methods.
and some Cafe XO liquor, we could make some awesome like espresso martinis.
Mm.
Make a dark, macabre world of interesting and twisted characters. They obsess over the guy with the lisp and how to do interior decoration on a pub.
Don't forget, try and facilitate being able to make cocktails that only Cedra can have.
Yeah. Noscavian.
Wait,
Yes.
is there emphasis on cock in those cocktails?
I mean, I
Interesting,
suppose you could
Actually.
try to make, like, you mean with chicken or with like the cock and bull ginger beer? Gotcha.
I
Okay.
think naive.
Noscavian.
Chicken cocktail. Yeah.
Last session. Any thoughts or highlights for you?
Yeah, I enjoyed last session. I really enjoyed when we finally started like learning about Mithras and we got like that interview. That was awesome. That conversation was probably my favorite part of the session. I think it was also kind of cool to get a chance to work on the the Haven some. And it was nice to see Dolores like stepping up and showing what she's learned. That was nice. I kind of felt bad. Yeah,
someone gave Xavier the what for.
yeah. I kind of feel bad that Trayvon came in as our bartender. We just like when we found out he was a human, we just drilled it. Drilled. Yeah.
We keep trying to dangle that, so do you want to raise the dead carrot in front of everyone? And they're like,
Oh yeah.
Hey, to be fair, I've been helping try and facilitate that.
Yeah, Shiv and I like through the week we double checked all the rules and kind of had like a rough idea of like what can we do, what that kind of stuff, just to make sure everything was kosher rules wise. We're like, oh yeah, we should be ready for when this comes. We don't know if you're going to do it in the beginning of the session or sometime in the middle of the session, but it's going to happen. Nope.
It's now got to the point,
to
if
be
you're not
fair-
doing it in the next session, we're going to make a mini fucking episode during the week and do it then.
The title of the episode: "The Gang Raises the Dead."
Maria do about nothing? No.
Yeah,
Any
and I
other
was saying
thoughts
like
or highlights?
Well, I guess with the dead thing, I was also, saying, hey, if we end up finding Maria's information out some other way and that becomes less relevant, I can always resurrect someone else. There can always be other people that die. But yeah, I mean, I think probably the biggest highlight for me was the interview and learning stuff about the Cult of Mithras. That was pretty awesome.
Oh, missed opportunity in the game. Interview with a vampire.
Well, we did interview with the vampire.
I know, but we didn't say it in the game.
Thank
Oh, you're right.
you. I think you were all a
You're
bit on
right.
edge, to be honest with you, during that bit to even think about something funny.
Oh, that would have been great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, cool, he's a vampire. Well, that's kind of good. We don't have to worry about keeping anything secret. And then
Yeah.
everybody is like, can we trust you? Give us your blood.
That would
Give us
have been
all your
interrogation
blood.
of a vampire. Yeah. What did he want? 2 liters of
it
blood?
was
Like
2
half
liters,
the
yeah.
poor guy, half the poor guy's blood? It's like, holy
My-
crap.
My highlight for last game was how much blood? Oh, a couple of liters. A couple of liters. Holy shit.
That was hilarious. Like, what are we gonna do? Like, put an IV in his carotid artery, then start like jumping on his chest. Like, keep that heart pumping.
Do it like you would be sucking gasoline off someone. You're just like,
Oh yeah, he's a vampire. He
Mhm.
doesn't have a beating heart. We'd have to siphon it.
yeah. Celis says that's how you haggle. He's got a point.
Mm-hmm.
Draven.
And then he frenzies and tries to get his blood back.
I deny
by getting
everything.
it plus.
Last session, thoughts, highlights, anything stand out for you?
Kind of like I said before, I'm still trying to learn how to use my skills the best way I can. I know what I was thinking when I picked my certain skills, but putting them into appropriate practice is just going to take some getting used to.
So it's and I want to say first of all, you have chosen being a Malkavian, and thank you for not being a fish milk. A fish milk, in case you want to know, it is the stereotyped fish, stereotyped milk. The term comes from I think it was a VTM Dark Ages picture that had a Malkavian caressing a fish with a knight in the front, and
I
a
could
fish
probably
milk
find
is
that
someone
picture
who's
if you
just
want.
as likely to hit you round the face with a fish and run off screaming down the street as they are to kill you. And they're not very. They're considered a not good fish. They're not considered a good Malkavian. Malkavian is meant to be lucid all the time until they
Yeah.
hit their compulsion, and then shit happens.
Well, yeah, I mean
Yeah.
the one thing I was reading about Malkavians because I was trying to look some of it up was that they all have some kind of, not necessarily mental disorder, but some kind of glitch with them. There's something. There's all. That's what draws Malkavians to pick this person to join their clan. Oh, there's something wrong with them. We'll bring them in. We'll fix them our way.
Because the Malkavians are part of the Camarilla, and it's this weird point of contention of how can you have someone who could at any point just freak out and completely break the masquerade. Well, they're also highly prized because the Madness Network allows them to see what might happen in the future, have communications with past as well as living Malkavians and things like that. And Vancouver by Night says the whole fish mouth thing also comes from the Monty Python fish slapping dance. Makes sense.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, it's also kind of like I spoke to Shiver about this, about kind of a partial backstory to my character, and and I told you guys spent years in prison, so I figure being former criminal might be something a Malkavian would want to bring into their clan.
It would...
Yeah, and like, sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, like with Malkavians, and whenever I'd want to create a Malkavian, I always think when I picture Malkavian, not the Joker, which is what a lot of people want to go to, but rather think A Beautiful Mind or something like that. I'm trying to think of other examples.
Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stuff like that.
He gets it. I know I play my Malks crazy, but you haven't seen them do their compulsions yet.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Oh, I have a bit of crazy and chaos planned out too, but I'm planning on doing everything more subtle.
And that's what V5's meant to be about, because VTM was very much a product of the 90s, we'll say. Very, very stereotype things, and part of V5 was trying to not only revamp and re-energize the game, but to make it a little bit more non-offensive for the current times, we'll go with, because it was a lot of stereotypes in characters. For instance, the Banu Hakim were all Muslims. Now they're no longer all just Muslims, and things like that. All the Malkavians, for instance, before that, they were always revamp. I didn't even do that. Thank you, Fast Car. Malkavians before that were a product of the 90s of being mentally deranged. It's a horrible way to say it, and for which I apologize. Now it's, Malkavians are not always off the rails. They're lucid until a compulsion hits, but it's trying to not be done in an offensive way. It's trying to really bring back the horror aspect of things, the spooky aspect of things.
Oh, and I don't know if anyone's played Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, but the Malk you play as is definitely one of those crazy Malks. But when you're going through the mansion and you're listening to the tapes from the Malkavian Primogen, that is really interesting because he's like a psychologist. He knows he's absolutely sane. He's trying to go in and find the source of what affects his bloodline. But as you kind of go through, he might not see it, but you start seeing he ain't all there.
Yep. The player character in Bloodlines as a Malk is definitely a fish Malk. You stop and talk to a sign.
Stop sign talks to you, yeah.
But then in contrast to that, like you say, a good example in Bloodlines was the Scholar. There's also the fact that the main author for the Book of Nod is Malkavian.
Mm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Traven, as a
What I do?
as you know, for us, a long time watcher, where do you see the story going from at this point? Any hopes, theories?
Well, I mean, I've already kind of spoken to you privately about a couple things I want to do, kind of like, just kind of like off camera type stuff, and but yeah, I mean, as far as like, Mo goes, I'm not sure what part he's really going to play. If I end up wanting to start playing every single game or what, but I mean, there's definitely potential, especially with them getting the whole haven built up, and without trying to reveal too much, there might be ways to expand relatively inexpensively.
You know what I mean? At the moment, your character is this sort of weird hybrid SPC that's being played by a player and is, strictly speaking, just the bartender as of right now. We'll see where the story goes and whether that brings you into the forefront. Because, I mean, it's up to you, availability, and the coterie as well, if they want to say, look, we've got to go off and find this weird Ankaran sarcophagus. Want to help?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Even if it's something simple like hey, we need help doing this. Not a big deal. You can help us or not, one way or the other, doesn't matter. That's all well and good, but until basically it's all down to scheduling and how much I'm actually able to play.
Well, I also like the fact that I talked to Shiver about something I want to do later on. Kind of in between session, like we live, we breathe, we do things. We don't breathe. I know. Don't be literal. And we don't live.
Don't live either.
But so there's opportunity for us to do things, not many sessions, but maybe like Shiver does recordings, like for when Harry, I'm saying like a lot, is really bad. When Harry calls and leaves me a voicemail, right? And it's hilarious. Everybody gets to hear it. But, I talked to him earlier about maybe doing a skit and recording it only about 30 seconds or whatever, where we can have interactions with NPCs that are played by people that fills out the world. And now that people have seen you on, and they'll probably see you again at some point, come on and do something, deliver information or stuff like that, people can connect the player, the voice to you too. So, that's the great thing about having the guests come on too, is when we move in and do things like that, because we do actively do things throughout the week. A lot of people don't see it. And it would be cool if we can start actually showing that. So, and
shameless plug for the Discord, because you can just come watch on Twitch and you get the main meat and potatoes of the story. If you want that extra bit of what's going on in the world during the week, in between sessions, it's all on the Discord. There was like Tina said, it gets fleshed out. There was the meeting with the Cult of Mithras that happened. Dr. Boyer, Isaac, Armon, and Cedra went to a Cult of Mithras meeting during the week. So I've actually written up what happened and what they did. And after they read that, threw it in the Discord for everyone to read. If they want to get the full story, it's there.
By the way, after reading that, there's one line that sticks out to me really good in that story, and I can't wait to bring it up to the coterie next game, because I'm just going to be, hey, you remember when they did that thing at the meeting? Doesn't that kind of remind you of maybe this? So that's going to be fun.
Oh, PM me
Okay.
that. I'm interested.
Mhm.
Tina,
Yes, sir.
that grates me. Don't call me sir. Just call me twat,
Ooh.
cunt, shiv.
Nope. That's the point. That's the
Damn.
point of put downs usually, and put downs don't work. So, sir.
That's a good one to know.
Oh, John.
You know, it just really grinds his gears.
Where do you see or hope? Where do you see the story going from now, or do you have any particular hopes or any predictions, theory craft?
Well, so Xavier doesn't know any of this yet, but reading another plug for the Discord, reading what happened in the Cult of Mithras thing. I'm interested how the coterie delivers that information to Xavier for one, and then how that transpires from there. Because just me, it sounds like I don't want
Hey,
to
Mr.
say they're the
Squarepeck.
good guys. Hey, Mr. Squarepick. But they're kind of the good guys at the moment. Like they're doing vigilante type work, I guess, for their own good, but still it sounds like, like the big thing that stood out is it the Gaki that they're trying to keep out, or was it the other group specifically that they were talking
The
about?
Lilith.
Both, I think.
No, they
The-
specifically referred to the Japanese clan.
Oh,
Yeah, they said that I think it was along the
Gakyo
lines of
equation.
things are getting difficult with the Japanese group moving in, but
kept-
they mainly but they're mainly saving Kine from joining the cult of Lilith and bringing
Yeah.
them into the cult of Mithras.
Well, they killed some of the cult of Lilith too.
Mhm.
So yeah, but I don't know. I can't look. I actually pronounced the name of the other group correctly that one time, and now I can't remember it for the life of me. But it's the
Kwajin.
Gaki and
The Gaki.
the Kwajin. Yeah.
Kwajin
Hmm.
refer to the collective name of all
The
of
Japanese.
Kindred of the
all
East.
of the. Thank you. That's it. All of the kindred of the East. That's an inoffensive way to say it. The Gaki is specifically Japanese Kwajin.
Gotcha. Okay, so then it's probably referring to the Gaki. So yeah, like because of that, if Xavier finds out that stuff again, that's actually honorable because what we know so far is they're meant to come in and just cause fucking chaos. And even though Xavier's Anarch, he's not trying to go to another fucking war. Like we just went through a war relatively recently.
Mm-hmm.
Kemi said, and I'm not going to do it because that's too much work for me, and it would fuck everything up if I did it, but would be a nice added piece of integration to have the Discord link added each time the scene changes. Each time, because we post a picture of the scene changing in the Discord each time the scene changes.
yeah.
And if we put in chat,
Oh.
You know who's really good at keeping up with this stuff?
A bot.
Fast cart.
Nudge, nudge.
Fast cut is the fastest.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Fastcar's just good at everything. Just ask him.
Kemi, Gaijin, I have to say that quietly, that's like the N word here. Gaijin is anyone who isn't Japanese.
The neighbor.
They have two words for how they refer to people. There's Nihonjin, which is someone who's Japanese, and then there's everyone else in the world who are Gaijin. Yeah, that's like the N word.
What's a
Well,
Jin
that-
specifically? Because you are a guy.
Well,
Glad you said Gaijin and
Gaijin,
didn't mispronounce it.
Gaijin, I think directly translates to outsider.
Yeah.
Something like that. And Nihonjin is something like God's chosen or something like that. God's
Of
people.
course it is.
I mean, their flag is, yeah, we won't go into it, but yeah.
The flag's the sun.
House of the Rising Sun and all that funness. Yeah. We're not here.
Like
We're not here to
abducted
put down
midstream. You know what's
neighbors, great
happened.
neighbors. Yeah. But yeah, I'm always interested. This is why sometimes I specifically keep Xavier out of things. Like me not showing up to that one session, and things happened with the priest, and then me not going to the party. How do they come to Xavier and say things? Because not just the fact that it's Xavier, but he's also Anarch. So I get to respond certain ways that they just don't know how I'm going to respond because he's Xavier for one, and he's Anarch. So his views on things are a little bit different. So, like, for example, with the party, Xavier's response was like, ha ha ha, instead of being all grumpy about it. You never know. And that's kind of why I like playing Xavier right now. But yeah, it's seeing how they'll come back and say things.
Yeah, I don't know if Isaac would bring it up. I mean, if the coteries was talking about it in private, he would probably contribute, but I don't think he would mention the secret meeting on his own.
It's not very secret. I knew you were going to it.
Yeah, I literally
That's
I had a feeling that the next game's going to start out and like Xavier's just going to be like, so how'd it go?
Yeah, like it's kind of implied that you're going to share with me, but yeah.
I don't know if Taffy would appreciate me saying out loud what she just said, but fuck, that was terrible and funny. You're sitting next to me in the front of the bus now, Taffy.
Tavi, I've been taught to say this more often by my art team, but be gay, do crime.
Mm-hmm. I tout that phrase on a megaphone all the time.
So yeah, that applies with what she just said. So yeah, be gay, do crime.
It would probably be too meta to talk about the cult of Mithras and kind of what they stand for, right?
No,
and
you
like,
can meta. But you got to remember.
Okay.
These guys are so fucking good at what they do that I could probably tell them who the Ripper is, and they wouldn't play it.
Okay, you told me it was me, and we played it real hard.
So like one of the reasons why, and this kind of alludes to what Tina was talking about how the Cult of Mithras kind of almost seem like the good guys, really, even though there are really no good guys in Vampire.
Yeah, that's why I brought up Vigilante. Yeah.
Vigilante is a good way to put it. The Cult of Mithras predates the Camarilla, and one of the reasons why the Cult of Mithras, especially in the old world, has been around so long, and that you see a lot of Camarilla people in the Cult of Mithras, is there's a lot of overlap. A lot of the like kind of beliefs and I guess like rules. The Cult of Mithras and the Camarilla have a lot of overlap on them. They both want to like have order and justice. It's just they don't always agree on the same thing. And the Cult of Mithras, they kind of enforce their own brand of justice.
Kind of like the Banu Hakim.
Yeah, actually, yes.
Yeah, the whole interaction with the Cult of Mithras, while I still don't like the whole culty nature of, sit down, drink the blood of Mithras, blah 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 blah, that kind of stuff. But like, I went into this as a player going cult bad, because usually they are, right? Like cults. And then I came out of it. It's like, oh, maybe cults aren't so bad.
No, it's so bad.
That's how they get you. Says, "Oh, sorry, Traven, go on."
Yeah, that's how they get you. They make it seem like they're not so bad.
True.
But really, the word cult, that's just a word. Like, what is the difference between worshiping a religion and worshiping a cult? Like, is there really much of a difference?
Legitimacy. Taxes. Being tax exempt.
Excuse me, being tax exempt classifies you as a church, not a cult. Just clarifying.
But cults aren't tax exempt.
But I mean, let's be real here. When you talk about cults, there's really only two spectrums. right? It's either Jonestown or Order of the Solar Temple, because they all end up dying in some way, like whether it's two or all of them, and they all are either super secretive in robes or they're hippies living in a jungle.
I mean, I think I kind of agree with what Shiva said. Legitimacy, because I think maybe any fledgling belief, like even if you go way back in time before some of our major religions got established, when they were fledgling religions and they didn't fit the status quo, did people look at them as cults? And then now that they're
Christianity certainly
mainstream,
started underground.
It's the same as the Freemasons in the real world. We don't look at them as a cult, but they're a cult.
I get that
yeah.
reference, Traven.
Yeah.
Best cult ever.
But yeah, no, I kind of agree with Tina though. Is like I looking at that whole interaction through Amon's eyes is like, oh, they're doing vigilante work that's kind of good. They're still a cult, and they're probably evil somehow, but they're doing some good. So I'm sitting there looking at it, it's like, I could save people from the cult of Lilith and just tell them to go home.
I mean,
I'll
it's
save
only
them
cool.
from this cult and not
It's only
adopt them
called
into
the
this
Cult
one.
of Mithras in the Modern Knights. Before then, it was the mystery of Mithras, Mithraic mystery, the Mithraic mystery.
yeah.
Mm.
And
Tavi very deeply and intelligently and correctly says, depends on the context of the word cult. Historians use cult to say things like cult of Artemis, which is just to say people who worshipped Artemis. I mean,
Yeah,
they lack a better word, really. I mean,
Yeah, the cults worship a higher
of
being.
Artemis.
Right.
Yeah, they worship a higher being, like I said, but the problem in modern world is a human normally takes that place. There's a good documentary about a cult that came from India and came over and went to Oregon and was like raiding the town basically, and they ended up poisoning a food supply and stuff like that. Like, they worship this guy that was essentially a disciple, is what he was claiming to be. You know, Jonestown's the same fucking way. Marshall Applewhite.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know,
it works on a governmental level. Look at the neighbours a few hundred miles over that way that I'm not going to say out loud in case they kidnap me. They have a personality cult built around their leader to ensure loyalty.
Yeah, in fact, I believe if we're thinking of the same place, that is the only state government entity that is actually a necrocracy, because the actual leader of the country is dead, but they believe that the basically current chairman is like leading in lieu of, or like the reincarnation of. So they're like the acting leader, but really who they revere and worship is the dead one.
Mm-hmm. And
Well,
that happens in
Breaking news.
in every
Vancouver by Night has just said on their charity stream on the 26th, they have Matt Mercer joining the stream.
Ooh.
That is a big name in Monix Path, I believe.
Matt Mercer.
Critical Role.
Yeah, he does critical role, like all the big
critical role. Yeah,
big dungeons, like the
from.
Yeah, the
he's
big
had
Dungeons and Dragons explosion.
2 books published by Wizards of the Coast and 2 classics. So yeah, he's a voice actor. He's also in Overwatch and other things.
Yeah, he voiced.
And I'm so glad you said that, Vancouver by Night, because he's going to be playing Beckett, who you all know now as well.
Oh, Matt Mercer's going to be playing Beckett. That's cool.
Which one's Beck? Oh, wait. Who's
Beckett? Is the vampire Kindred anthropologist who's trying to figure out the actual origins of Kindred. As you can see, he was writer of the book of Nod. That's Beckett's Jihad Diary. And he does actually have a connection with Oxford, because that's where he was embraced. It's one of the few places he actually has a permanent haven, is Oxford.
Wait, we should go to that stream and Miss Hart should start talking to him like they've been pen pals for years.
To be actually,
Vancouver by Night, as always, more eloquently says Gangrel Nodis Scholar.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of bad news. Is I'm pretty sure that we have a game that same night.
Friday,
26th?
Saturday, Friday. Yeah, it's a Friday. We
Yeah.
do.
What time?
Do we though?
Same
Because
time?
oh no, that's this week we've got it on a Friday.
Yeah.
Next
12th,
week we've
20th,
got it on the
26th,
Saturday. So
4th.
yeah, we have got
Yeah.
it on the 26th.
But
But
big
don't-
news
did-
is
They play before us. We can go.
Yeah, it's doubtful it'll be at the same
Do they
time.
play? Okay. I might have
I
to
think-
send my friend over there then, because I've got them binging through Critical Role and they're loving it. And I sat and watched movies with them yesterday, and I tried explaining some of the escapades that we've had in our games. And I'm like, yeah, we're all vampires and this and that, and it's like very different than D&D. And so if I'm just like, hey, in 2 weeks, Matt Mercer's going to be playing that game that I play, and the guy that sometimes comes in our chat and is really good friends with us is the storyteller.
Actually, we'll be just ending when they start. We normally end around 11 p.m. They're starting at 11 p.m. Eastern.
Okay,
8 p.m.
yeah, because
Pacific.
Yeah.
So we can raid them.
11 p.m. EST, 3 a.m.
we could read
GMT,
them.
and it looks like it's going to be over on Vancouver by Night's Twitch. So here's the even better news: we automatically host Vancouver by Night whenever they go live.
Mm-hmm.
We should.
So
Yeah,
don't even
we'll-
need
we'll
to leave
raid them.
here.
We'll raid
You can
them
watch both.
instead. It'll be-
Yeah, we'll raid them and we'll spam them with bite me emotes.
And then we can throw quarters at them.
Mm-hmm.
What?
That's my Twitch version of. I've always thought, because the whole make it rain thing, and I was like, yeah, but would they really get mad if you walked into a strip club and made it hail? Like, just walk in with rolls of quarters and start shaking them. I mean, it's
You know
$10 a
what'd be
pop,
funny?
I think you'll find if you throw the quarters at them, they're the ones that start shaking them.
Yeah,
Would
it would be hilarious if someone tried to pay a stripper.
I can't shimmy. I'm not built for it.
like
Keep eating rice. Sorry, not skinny.
you're fine. Like old school silver dollars or silver quarters or stuff. The ones that are actually worth something because they're old and not minted anymore. But then they would either be like, oh, someone's paying me in quarters, what a loser. But then if they actually go and no, because if you go and take it to a restaurant or something or a store, they'll probably just treat it as a quarter. You'd have
Yeah.
to find someone who'd actually recognize it as a.
You need to go to a pawn shop. Some nights
Yeah.
accept silver specifically.
Yeah, I remember when I was a long time ago when I was working at retail, I cracked open a roll of quarters from a bank, and there was two 1950s or 40s or 30s bourbon quarters with the lady at the thing, the silver ones, and I walked around to the other side and I pulled out 50 cents and I went to one of the other ladies who worked the register. Was like, I want to buy those 2 quarters right there. Here's 2 quarters.
Don't know why that reminded me, but it did when you went to the curio shop in the last episode, did you catch the reference?
The cube reference or the monkey paw? Yeah.
The
The
puzzle
cube
box
reference.
reference.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's why
Yeah.
I made that comment. When we were all leaving, I was like, "What are you doing, raising hell?"
Excellent. Do you
I
know
I kind of want to go back for that puzzle personally. Just saying.
I'm not doing a Hellraiser crossover. You lose.
Yeah.
I love
You
that
lose.
whole
Good day, sir.
day, sir. I love that whole shop scene because he was like, I have this silver dagger, and I'm like, okay, big deal. What does it do? And Isaac just goes, well, silver is really good against werewolf, and I don't even let him finish. I'm like, how much you want for it?
Yeah, I kind of want to go to the curio shop more now. That was cool.
Mm.
Yeah, I need
Not gonna
some
lie, I thought
stuff.
I thought a mom was gonna buy the leather jacket to fit in with Xavier.
Nah.
Do you want to tell them the thing about the leather jacket? Because you thought it was just a fancy leather jacket and a piece of history.
Well, but it is.
It is.
Where did it go? Did it get moved? It got moved. Okay.
It got moved.
All right. We showed a picture in the Discord, right? We did. Yes, we did. Okay. 3/4 length leather jacket, supposedly, big word here, belonged to Theo Bell, former Brujon Archon. Archon, by the way, for a lot of people, we have an Archon in our game. It's Chucky? Is it Chuck? No. Who is
I
it?
can't
I
remember
forget.
Rico's fucking name in that.
Chuck?
Jackie.
Jackie. Oh yeah, the guy that sniffs coke all the time.
He's an
And
Archon.
heroin. Yeah. Bullet holes in it, still invaluable. It adds +1 die to strength rolls.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
And my dagger's just silver. I'm kidding. I still love the dagger.
You know
I
what would
think-
be sorry.
I think you'll find it does special damage against lupines.
Well, yeah. I know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
You hear that? You hear that,
and
fast
you
card?
know what? You want a special
Special.
power for your You want a special power for your dagger? It does aggravated damage to envelopes.
Hey, Groundhog.
Hey, Groundhog.
Celisk, I don't know. I'll tell you where that jacket is right now. It's in Xavier's closet. He's not wearing it. He may wear that in certain situations. It's not something he's going to wear all the time because I know Shiver put in there supposedly, but this technically is a piece of history for Bruja, and Xavier recognizes that. So
Do you think
he may be able to
Xavier
use
sniffs
that.
it, kisses it? He's like,
No,
I miss you.
no, the dog probably did though.
Oh yeah.
You know what would be hilarious, Shiv? If Xavier encounters a character matching Theo Bell's description, but you don't tell him it's Theo Bell, and if he's wearing the jacket, the said mystery character who you described just compliments him on the jacket.
or just the fact that somebody else recognizes it. Like Lance may actually recognize it. I don't
think
know.
Lance-
He's still
I think
pretty
Lance
young.
is Lance is too young to have recognized it.
But like the Baron may recognize it. He may just know it from history. Doubt
Baron
it. But
hasn't been
I don't
seen for such a long time.
I know.
There's a
All
story.
my daddies
there.
are gone.
Let's cast a vote. We'll make Xavier the new Baron.
Oh,
Yeah.
Groundhog had questions, but sleeping made him forget. Wish sleeping made me forget.
Rum helps me to forget.
Oh, speaking. Oh, go ahead.
Yep. No, please.
Oh, speaking of alcohol, I found out that my state is one of the states that let them deliver alcohol to your door. So I just wanted to have alcohol delivered to my door. Hopefully, it'll arrive tomorrow.
I've learned my
Wow.
lesson from alcohol. I am never drinking beer during VTM again because I need a piss too quickly.
You
Never
broke that
doing that
seal.
again.
I told you.
You have to drink something stronger next time. Maybe some Japanese whiskey or sake or something like that. So you can drink less of it.
I've already tried sake over here, and I'm like,
Yeah, you gotta
no.
remember that Shiv still has to storytell.
That's true.
You
I'm
guys
doing a
walk
paraphrase.
into the bar. You stumble over. Wait, where were we again?
it's going to be like, so, like, fuck it. You go to a kebab shop. Let's go to a kebab shop. Oh, I really want a kebab. Yeah. And they've got this really nice greasy meat. It's just, and it's going to be like a 3-hour description of food.
And then we're gonna like do something unanticipated. He's like, you'll be like, "What the fuck you doing? You went through the wrong door. You go the other way now."
Yeah, he'll go into a half an hour explanation of food, and we'll all be like, "You mean mozzarella sticks?" Yeah.
That's it. It's the sticks, the cheese with the Mario thing in them.
Yeah. By the way, anytime you guys see this, I'm drinking rum.
And
Oh,
just for
Groundhog
reference,
asks.
Craven is a normal-sized human being. That is a giant pup.
Oh, okay. Groundhog asked, "Will Mo have a propensity for a specific kind of alcohol?"
I think he answered that
Yes.
question.
Oh, yes, with his
But
rum
Mo
on
can't
it.
drink.
So
Oh no, you took Iron Gullet, didn't you?
Yeah, and I have also eat food. So yes,
I was going to say
thinking
Iron
ahead.
I can't have
isn't the same.
I just
Yeah.
why can't
Gullet wasn't the
he,
same thing.
even if he doesn't not able to drink, why can't he have an affinity for alcohol like Jackie literally sniffs heroin off of his arm and it doesn't affect him?
He's Malkavian. Oh, they're both Malkavian, yeah. I mean, if
Yeah.
he had a propensity for a certain type of alcohol, he could imbibe it without the eat food merit. He could imbibe it by saying to this customer, here, have this rum and another rum and another rum. Come with me into the
Yeah.
back room.
Yeah.
It's like,
Like
oh
he-
yeah, you're a little drunk. Let me help you.
He
there,
likes it so
buddy."
much that he just forces it on other people. Peer pressure or
Groundhog has
whatever.
asked, why are there so many Malkavians? And there is an answer to this, apart from driving
my
Tina
God.
nuts.
They're like fucking
Malkavians,
rats.
Malkavians are one of the few clans that still believe their antediluvian is out there. So what they do is they embrace en masse for the Camarilla anyway, because they believe the more spread out they are, the weaker their antediluvian is, because they believe, some of them believe, that the antediluvian is in this thing called the Madness Network, which is this weird thing, kind of like the Borg, that connects all the Malkavians together, which is why they have all these voices in their head telling them these things. And they believe that their antediluvian ascended, descended, whichever view you want to take, in and became the Madness Network. So to dilute their blood, so to speak, they try to embrace as many as they can into the clan. So Malkavians, above ground anyway, are generally the most populated of the clans.
So imagine if you want to pretend to be a Malkavian, just imagine that you have the internet constantly running in your brain.
Just imagine you have YouTube comments constantly running in your brain.
Mm-hmm. No, more like Facebook.
I don't know about Facebook. I'm not touching that.
It's an awful place.
Yeah, you hear these voices. Sometimes they just, tell you random mumbo jumbo, but other times they share with you the thoughts of other vampires, just
Star
knowledge
Helix.
you shouldn't have. No, other Malkavians, just stuff you shouldn't know.
I'm
Groundhog
right now-
said,
No.
or says, stroke question, I thought Harry was a rat. The confusion might possibly come up because Nosferatu are referred to by other kindred as rats, because they generally live in the sewer underground, because they used to be so disfigured they were a walking masquerade breach. The more modern Nosferatu just look really ill and really ugly, but older
No.
Nosferatu are disfigured, and there is a picture floating around there of a Nosferatu I got to be Harry, and he's got these big vampire-like ears and big teeth, which is why he's got the lisp, because it's their big teeth. But older Nosferatu are still affected by that malady. That, Kemi, is the Nosferatu clan curse. Each clan has a different curse, supposedly brought on by Cain. Brujar, their compulsion clan curse, is to rebel. Hecata, Cappadocian, is to predict death, its morbidity. Malkavians, to suddenly lose it in some way. Toreador become obsessed with beauty. Fuck, what's the Ventry one?
Oh,
What's the
they
Ventry
need to.
compulsion?
They need the orders to be followed. They need basically.
They need to assert themselves, don't they?
Yep.
Tremere
Mhm.
is perfection. They need to have a roll, a critical of some descript to get out of their compulsion. Who else am I missing? I don't remember the ministries.
Banu
At all.
Hakim?
Oh, fuck. Oh, the Banu Hakim's compulsion is nasty. They need to seek out
I've made a thing.
injustice and punish those that they see as being unjust. And what's more unjust than kindred?
Mm.
I made a thing on petition.org
What's that?
No.
to remove all Malkavians from Oxford.
Oh,
Go sign now!
Hey, but I want
And
my
you
next
even use the
character to
fish
be a
smoke
Malkavian.
picture.
I did.
oh, Kimmy, are you asking the cause of the Malkavian Madness Network? Or... Well, I guess it'll take, 30 seconds of photo.
It's at least 30 seconds between here and wherever it goes because of Japan.
I guess I could probably type, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nitro. I don't know if we got to you yet, but I'm going to ask you again if we've already asked you. Predictions for where the story's going or potential hopes, theory crafting?
I can't really theory craft right now because I already kind of told you my idea of that I want to bring up to the coterie. Like, it's not a thing I can really theory craft out loud without spoiling a potential conversation that we're gonna have next game. So, but if anything, I blame Mithras for whatever the Ripper might be right as of this moment. Amon still thinks it's a werewolf because he's stubborn. Other than that, I kind of hope we raise a ghost.
So it sounds like you're volunteering for the mini-sode if it doesn't happen in this week's episode.
Sure.
There's one.
Oh god, an episode with just Amon and Isaac.
So,
Yes.
go ahead.
No, please.
I was just going to answer Kimmy's question, and I'm just kind of going from memory, so correct me if I'm wrong. But the origin of the Nosferatu clan curse, and I forget if the
Can I just say,
was named.
I like how you're going into this when on my screen the answer is sort of at a 45-degree angle from your left eye behind you on your shelf.
The Book of Nod. Yeah, so I want to say Nosferatu, but I think they even had a different name, right?
Absimiliard.
Yes. Yeah, that thing. That. So, and he was beautiful. Like, he was just super beautiful and vain. And then something happened. He was cursed again, or what? Do you remember? Because I know he was beautiful and vain, and then either something happened to his children.
Cain cursed Absimiliard for indulging himself in his baser instincts, and so he would be seen as ugly on the outside as he is on the inside.
There we go. I knew there was something additional to that, and then that fell upon his child, and then there's a vampire called Baba Yaga, and she's basically the mother of all modern day Nosferatu, and her.
No,
they changed that.
No, she was never. I know what you're referring to. It wasn't Baba Yaga. It was someone else that killed Baba Yaga.
Oh.
John Wick.
But I'll have to double check who that is then. But I know
there's two clans that come off in the Nosferatu.
Yeah,
line.
the Nikatu. Mm-hmm. Yeah, whoever it was, this vampire was essentially like one of the Nikatu, but from that individual, the modern day Nosferatu spawned, while all their kind of peers or brothers and sisters remained like the Nikatu, and through the blood, the clan antediluvian Abysmalard or whatever of clan Nosferatu, basically he hates his own children because they're all ugly because of the curse, So he wants his child to basically eradicate all the Nosferatu, and that's why the Nikitu hunt them.
Potentially, Baba Yaga is the progenitor of the Niktuku.
Oh, okay. Okay.
What about my tooth?
Baba Yaga for reference.
Yeah, that joke probably didn't ring for anybody. My first name is Nick, so
Oh,
Ah! I thought it was Tina.
Tavi. Tavi, I believe that in World of Darkness, the folklore Baba Yaga was kindred.
yeah.
There's a big story about that in Beckett's Jihad Diary. She basically ruled the Soviet Union kindred side. The Iron Curtain was I don't want to say physical, a magical barrier in the game
Yeah.
that if any kindred crossed over to it, they would never seen again, probably because Baba Yaga ate them.
Mm-hmm.
I think my favorite scary lore character is Baba Yaga.
Mm-hmm.
Like
She
I know
dead.
a lot of yeah, but a lot of modern day people are trying to do Beelzebub or whatever. Like, but I think Baba Yaga, just the lore, the crazy things people can come up with.
Yeah, did you see it wasn't a great movie, but did you see her depiction in the new Hellboy movie?
Yes, but I can't remember it.
I was
She
like,
was
yeah, I've
just-
seen the new one. I don't
She
remember.
was terrifying. She tried to feed Hellboy soup made out of children.
Somebody went to fight the witches.
No,
Am I
it was
mixing movies up? 'Cause that may happen. I'm not a movie.
It was
it
Vasilisa
was,
that killed Baba Yaga.
Jimmy's with me. Because she dismissed the other witches, I think, and that was Baba Yaga.
no, Baba Yaga was the really, really ugly chick that like walked on all fours, and Hellboy made a deal with. She was in the house that ran around on chicken legs. It doesn't matter.
Sounds
But
interesting.
Google.
For
In World
for
of Darkness,
reference with how-
Baba Yaga's house moved around on legs as well, on chicken legs.
Yeah, that's usually how it's depicted. But yeah, no. When I
remember this.
when I think of Baba Yaga, when I think of how ugly Nosferatu used to look, I think of Baba Yaga from that movie because man, she was gnarly.
Tubular.
Shiver, you meant in Hellboy. Remember in Hellboy when he's in that room and the old creepy lady crawls out of what looks like a wooden cup?
The
Just
new
in the
Hellboy
picture.
or the original?
Yeah, the newest one.
The new
I
one.
watched that on the
yeah.
plane over to here, so I remember watching it and thinking, "It's all right, Miss Ron Perlman."
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah,
replace
he
Ron
was
Perlman.
such a good Hellboy.
That, and for some reason, like I know Hellboy is violent, but I felt like that there was a lot of unneeded gore and blood and junk in that movie.
Robert Rodriguez
In order
directed,
to-
wasn't it?
I have no idea.
Hmm.
I'll wait until the post show to talk about that movie because I can bring up some really funny points that I don't like about that movie.
Fair enough. So, anyone watching or here? No, Del Toro did the original too, Kemi.
Mm-hmm.
The really good original too. The remake, or whatever you want to call it, reboot. Del Toro wasn't involved in it. I don't know if it was Rodriguez who directed it or not. I have a feeling he was involved, but that might have changed because. Anyway, anyone at all got any questions? Oh, there's Pandora. We're going to call you Pandora now, Pandora. No, you have no questions.
I don't.
Okay.
Dun 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 dun.
Would you like to know some bits about the upcoming story for the next session?
Like stuff that is kind of sure.
Obviously, not spoilery.
Okay.
Mhm.
We
Okay.
could before we go in that. we could explain to the audience specific things that were said that we were confused about, like
ahead.
how rich we are.
Yes, we had a
yeah.
good discussion about that one.
Because we were all
for reference,
confused.
guys, we have a text channel that we use to communicate with each other while we're in voice chat or otherwise, so we don't clog up the public channel. And I left the call early after the last game ended, and I come back and people are posting pictures of tanks and like high-powered weaponry, and I'm like, "What's going on?" And Tina just goes, "Dude, we just found out that we're all rich."
I mean, yes and no. So, what's the specific thing you can get for just raw wealth
Resources.
resources? So, I have contacts. Isaac has resources. I think somebody else does too.
I have
Cedro?
both.
I only have 2 dots of resources though, so I'm like middle class.
Yeah. So, how do you not know you're rich? Well,
I
that's
have-
the thing.
I have my ways.
So the idea is, with just straight raw resources, is I would say like raw wealth, like you actually have money, right?
Legit
Uh,
cash in your bank, legit cash in your wallet.
Yeah. So, like Isaac, for example, he says he's got 2 dots, so he's probably got a good 6 figures saved up.
I think
Maybe,
the book
yeah.
describes 2 dots as middle class.
And then with contacts, like I have 3 dots in my contacts. The idea is like 3 dots is considered rich, but since it's in contacts, I don't have raw wealth. I have the ability to get whatever I want at that cost. I have money, but like I don't have a couple million sitting around. The thing is though, if for some reason we needed to get a tank, I probably could get a tank for a day. Like I wouldn't. I'm just giving something that's expensive. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, well, just to
for
just
sure,
to kind
for
of
sure, like a flight, a private
Yeah.
flight somewhere.
The whole concept of money and wealth in BTM is very abstract. You've got the resources, which are the direct correlation to if you have a modern day job or you've invested in a company, things like that, money in the bank. Whereas compared with criminal contacts, such as ones that Mo/Traven has, Xavier/Tina, and even Muggins up there, Nitro/Aman has, they're more,
Mhm.
I need to get my hands on X. Can you get me X? All right, we'll get you X. If they need money would be like, I need some money. Okay. But then they would have a slight issue of how to spend it because it's probably dirty money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I was very confused because I knew that Xavier had a ton of contacts, and I was like, I know I don't have as many contacts as Xavier, but I still have a 3-dot contact. And then I didn't think that Xavier was as rich as me. I just knew he was like rich in contacts. And so when Shiver was like, "Oh yeah, $500 or however
500 for
much
you.
the." Yeah, 500 for me was like stretching it while it was like a drop in the bucket for Xavier. So I think that's what started the conversation because I have 3 dots in contacts and I have 3 dots in resources. So I'm like, how am I? What's going on? I'm rich.
Yeah, you're rich. That's why
Yeah.
you have the car.
Mm-hmm.
And you can drive, which is a nice bonus.
I might be able to upgrade
yeah.
that car.
You got that much money, and this is the shit thing we're driving around. Like, what the fuck?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, that was a while ago, and we kind of just got the whole money thing re-examined.
I know.
I could probably get something better.
Yes,
Yeah,
Fast
actually, with Mo, it'd be more along the lines of, yeah, I can get you some stuff. Just don't ask where it came from.
Mm.
the
Xavier,
ironic
I have
thing
one
with
of this
Groundhog saying, it's a little weird saying this, but living in the Southern Hemisphere sucks. You're always so slow on chats and they rearrange themselves by the time they get anywhere else. The ironic thing is, he and I are physically the closest to on the planet out of everyone.
Nope.
No?
Nitro's probably a 6-hour drive.
No, I mean
yeah,
to me,
true.
sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I
You
should
said
have been
just
more
said to
specific.
anyone.
I
and
should have
was
been
like,
more specific.
Actually-
I didn't know you were going to be so literal.
I'm probably only a couple hour drive from Noscavian.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think Nitro.
Pennsylvania?
Yeah, my family
he
lives in
is, yeah.
Maryland.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I
We're
work in Maryland.
three of us are really close to each other. That's creepy.
Yeah, I work in Maryland. I live in Pennsylvania, but like I live just over the border to PA, so I'm like
It was a
I
pretty
could get to
long drive,
Maryland
but
in like 5.
I've hung out in person with Miss Hartz before, so
Oh, cool.
Miss Hartz is probably the person I'm closest to as far as geography goes.
I mean, technically, wow, words are hard. Technically, we all could hang out together. Not this year, obviously, but maybe next year if we all go to CitizenCon together.
Yeah, I was planning on going to CitizenCon this year. Yep, I had
I
a
was
hotel
told-
booked and a flight booked.
I was told by the wife, we can go to CitizenCon this year, and it cancelled. Didn't have a ticket for it, but when it comes to CitizenCon in the States, you don't have to have a ticket to enjoy CitizenCon. You can just be like, all right, we'll see you in a couple of hours.
Yeah.
We'll go to a bar.
Yeah, see you at the Bar Citizen afterwards.
Is anyone on the Pacific coast of the USA?
I think Silence was.
yeah, I think Silence
Who?
was.
That actually brings me nicely into the non-spoiler thing for the session the coming week. You are going to find out what happened to Silence, or Halo.
Oh.
Dun dun dun.
Kalo. Wait, does Balo come knocking on our door crying?
You might
By
now.
the way, fun fact. Just to put
Where's
it out
Kalo?
there,
Where's Kalo?
I need to fix up my Haven some more because I figured out one thing now that I'm not living with my family. I'm sorry, now that I'm not on living with my family.
By the way, because of
I
what
have-
Draven's wearing now, that's so much red. Everyone has to do a hunger frenzy check.
To make sure that we're not part of the Bloods.
I now
Well, we've
have
got
a
a grip.
way of
Thank you. I tried to
I
set
know.
that one up. I lobbed that softball. Yeah.
I now have a place to dispose of all your whitefish. Right, Shiv?
Oh, do you have like a compost bin?
No, it's in. I decided to. Everybody has pets, so I decided to get one too.
Oh yeah, you
Oh,
fucking
nice.
did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna
And
have
I
to sort out
went a
your
little-
actual
Got a-
haven.
You got a cat if you're talking about fish.
One of the
Nope,
things you
I,
can get with
I
them.
decided to go exotic.
Oh, nice.
A cat.
Mm. Sorry, not kidding.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. One of the things you can do with Oblivion, I did not. That's not the talent I got. I got a different one on the same tier, but you can summon or like create a homunculus, and it's kind of just like some sort of animated thing, more or less. So like the hand from Adam's Family, it could be something like that, like just a
That's
disembodied hand.
That sounds like something Isaac would do.
Yeah, but I just can't get all the powers though. I had to pick and choose.
Capybara. Yeah, did you get a capybara?
Maybe. No, like after our discussion of how after you guys were like, yeah, we're all rich, blah blah blah. I was like, so Shiv, how exotic can I go? And he was like, no,
I have a
this,
feeling
this, and
David would
this. I
have
was
some
like,
kind of
okay.
idea with this though, because you keep fucking living with me.
It said no giraffes, no rhinos, no elephants.
You know what
No
pet
big
I want to get in
cats.
real life?
Pardon, sorry?
What?
Do you know what pet I want to get in real life?
Go on.
I really want to get a boa.
feather boa. You'd look lovely in a feather boa.
No, he wants to recreate Britney Spears' music video.
I'm not familiar. Sorry.
You don't remember the Britney Spears slave music video with the boa constrictor around her?
No, I do remember Britney Spears, but I've never been too much into pop, so I just never really paid
Maybe it was a
attention.
live show she did it on.
Oh,
Here's a picture in Elysium for you.
So I tell you
Yeah,
about.
I
Rhino
wanna-
Dragon is tempting.
Sorry, Noscaven, carry on.
oh no, it's fine. I can't even remember what kind of boa it was I was eyeing. I'm trying to think.
Probably a ball python.
No, I did look at ball pythons, but I liked boas. I think they're called standard boas was the ones I was looking at.
Yes,
BCI.
yes,
Nitro
that's
does. Nitro genuinely
I-
does keep asking me. So can I have a mech yet, Shiv? Can I have a mech yet, Shiv? Can I have a mech yet, Shiv?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys were like, "Hey, we're rich." I'm like, "So Shiv, now that we figured out I'm rich, mech suit?" Question mark. And he was like, "No."
This isn't mage.
Yeah,
I mean,
BCI
the
common
answer
boa.
would be no.
You could say yes, but it has to be like most of the ones in Japan where it doesn't do anything. You're just like, look at
Yeah,
this
right.
thing I have. It doesn't work, but it's in
Well,
my
what's
living
funny is
room. It's nice.
My next question was like, I was like, "Fine, can I have the suit Batman wears in Batman v Superman?"
On
And he said he
display,
didn't
yeah.
do the voice mod.
Yeah, and I could do the voice mod because I have the voice changer on my computer.
Isn't Nitro a Cybertronian anyway? I've said it before and I'll say it again. Stick a plunger on the front of him and he's a Dalek.
It's true. Whisk in
like
one
here?
hand, plunger in the other.
Here? Here?
Anywhere.
Hmm.
The scary story for me. In case you don't know, this country has basically got snakes, lots of snakes, and most of them are part of the subgenus of pit vipers. That means if they're decapitated, they still try and fucking bite you because snakes are evil, the embodiment of fucking evil. And one day in this house, my wife saw a fucking snake on the roof of the neighbor's house. Now, how the fuck does a snake get on the roof of a house when there's nothing over the fucking house and it's a straight surface up? How the fuck? So now I am
You don't have
very
windows
paranoid
at all?
about one day opening the window and there's just going to be this fucking massive venomous snake just attached to the window going, "Good morning, Shiv."
Nobody tells Shiver about flying snakes.
I know about flying snakes. I know about swimming snakes. I hate snakes. They terrify me more than
They're
anything
always
in this world.
these motherfucking
Snakes and
snakes
heights.
on this motherfucking plane.
So if I get a pet snake, can I bring it on stream with me?
No.
I laugh though because I kind of would like you think that's bad. Go visit Groundhog. He's close
Mhm.
enough to Australia. They've got to have some crazy shit over there.
Mm-hmm.
Really, New Zealand doesn't
No.
have snakes.
New
You know what New
Zealand's an
Zealand
island,
does
don't
have though?
snakes.
Kiwis.
Kiwis are adorable.
And they're
The
fucking
birds do.
massive. Well, I say that, Matt. They're bigger than you think.
Yeah, they're not quite
Really?
dodo massive, but yeah.
Yeah,
I,
and UK,
I
we have two or three species of snakes in the UK, and only one of them is venomous, and that's an adder, and it's incredibly rare, and it's bright red, so that stands out. Don't
I,
like snakes.
I get that. I had I had literally this morning when I got up, I finally got out of bed because I was doing that thing everybody does where you're laying there, you're like, I'm still tired, I don't want to get up, and you're kind of falling back asleep and waking up, falling back asleep. And finally I fall back asleep at one point, and I have a dream where I'm just sitting here at my desk, and I move my drink a little bit, and there's like a fuzzy spider the size of a quarter
Hey,
just
Linwood.
standing there right
I hope I
on
said
my
that right.
desk. And it doesn't even do anything. It's just sitting there. But I'm so terrified of spiders then I wake all the way up, heart's beating through my chest, and I'm like, all right, I'm awake now. Time to get up.
What kind of spider was it?
I don't know. It was just a fuzzy, like bottle cap mid-sized spider.
Do you know what the most common
in our-
spider here is?
What kind?
Hmm.
It's I'm not
You
sure
help?
if it's the
Supida?
yellow orb weaver or the golden orb weaver. Whichever one is not
Oh, yeah.
venomous is the most common
Mm.
one here, and they're thick, and they make webs about 10 feet wide. That's the
And how do
common
you know,
garden
Shiv?
spider here.
Over there, it's pronounced Supida.
And next you're going to say
nature
it's
in
not
that-
yellow, it's yarrow.
No, actually,
In our
I'm
area-
serious about the spider thing. So
I would imagine maybe it was a wolf spider, because we have a lot of
probably.
in
Not
like
sure.
Yeah.
this tri-state area, and they're fuzzy.
Growing up in Virginia, I ran into a lot of wolf spiders, and
Mhm.
they can get pretty big.
Yeah, and like wolf spiders, that their bite hurts, but their venom's not too bad. It doesn't really
The
do anything.
thing, I don't know why
We've got
the bite
tarantulas.
isn't what terrifies. The bite isn't what terrifies me. It's the fact that they can jump at you at an instant.
We don't have anything crazy. I think underneath our house there's probably at least 4 black widows and probably some wolf spiders. But
Yeah, we've got black widows here.
yeah, it's okay though. Black widows. It's easy to avoid black widows because they like cold, damp places, usually in the dark. So just don't go underneath your house. Let the cable guy do that.
Yeah, I know that there's all kinds of.
So
crazy
underneath your
animals
house,
around.
there's 4 or 5 black widows, 7 or 8 dead bodies. I didn't kill them.
Hey,
Honestly,
I-
black widows we don't have to worry about.
I mean,
I'll take black widows any day over brown recluse.
Brown, we
That's
have
what I
brown
was gonna
recluses
say.
everywhere.
Mhm.
In the UK, they've got, I think they've got brown widows coming in as an invasive species,
Hmm.
and they're spreading like wildfire across the south of the country. Don't know how we got
That's
onto
a
this
really
topic.
cool bird.
I think it's
snake.
because I mentioned I want a pet boa constrictor.
Yeah.
But yeah,
BCI
black widow
common dog.
spiders, they will kill you, and they induce necrosis in the wound as well. Not nice. Basically, you don't want to get bitten by something that's venomous, is what it comes down to, because there's no such thing
Mhm.
as a nice venom. Although there is that one
Mhm.
spider that bites you, and you are, if you're male, you become fully
Oh,
aroused for like 6
yeah.
hours and then die. But
Oh,
hell of a 6
yeah, I
hours.
forgot about that.
Or if you time it right, hell of a 5 hours, and then you're fine if you get the antivenom.
Yeah,
So apparently it fucking hurts.
Yeah, but like a problem with venomous things is like if for whatever you shouldn't have a venomous pet, but if you want to have a venomous pet, it better be something local, and you should probably have your own supply of antivenom. Because if say you decide I want to import a cobra because I'm dumb like that, and then your cobra you decide you're dumb enough to handle your cobra too, and it bites you, and you go to the hospital, you could go to the hospital in 10 minutes, right? You got plenty of time to get antivenom. It's still risky if you're surviving now. And you go to the hospital, you're like, hey, I was bitten by a cobra. Are you sure it wasn't a garden snake? Because we don't have cobras in this area. It's like, no, I have a pet cobra. It's like, we don't have cobra antivenom. It's not endemic to this area. It's like, okay, we can try to give you some morphine and just keep you calm for a couple hours, but you're gonna die.
The thing is, every major city in the U.S. is equipped with antivenoms for any type of poisonous creature in the world. It may take some time to get it. It's mostly local, wherever they would keep a lot of that stuff. So I know not everybody's got a local CDC, but the government health department's got that stuff locked away. So
yeah. You'd
I don't
probably
know.
get,
I had this really strange talk with some of our health department guys at my work.
Because
Either that, or if you get a pet cobra, make sure you have a pet mongoose too.
no, my luck,
What?
the mongoose and the cobra would team up and get me.
We actually,
Well, it's checks and balances.
we actually got we bought 4 guinea fowl from the local farmer store to take care of the snakes in our area, because they run in groups, and if they find a snake, they'll literally crowd around the snake and kill it.
Or just get a pet honey badger and hope that it doesn't try to eat you and goes for the rattlesnake instead.
I
Well,
don't.
it's going to, because it doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, it was gonna. It's both of you. Yeah.
Then you'd have to call a vambulance. I don't know why my brain just thought of that.
So, any questions? Any other things? Any venomous creatures?
Other than, never mind.
There are only two kinds of good snake. A pair of shoes and a handbag. Round up all the snakes, put them on a rocket, blast that fucking thing into the fucking sun, just to be sure.
But it's a pet you only need to
Snakes and
feed
spiders.
once every week or two.
Mm-hmm.
And technically, you could have dinner with it. If you could feed off animals, you just here's a rat for you, rat for me.
I don't know about that.
No. All right then. Well, we might as well fuck us off. We'll be back with an episode of London's Burning proper.
Friday.
Nitro, your time zones.
Friday, 7:30 EST.
What?
Yep.
Groundhog asks, what clan would a televangelist be? The Sombra.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact, because of the
Or
Sombra
something with
run the
presence.
Catholic Church. Run.
It's true. Yeah.
Go to Mars, no snakes there. He's right, I could go back to the planet of my origin.
Hey, Mars is the only planet we know of populated entirely by robots.
It's
Yeah.
true. It's true.
All right, so Friday night, I think that's 2300 UTC.
Yes.
I'm not sure what time zones.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is
time
5
zones.
hours. Okay.
So 2300 UTC Friday night for the next episode of London's Burning. Don't want to miss this one because it is going to be good.
Mm.
Thank you all for coming. Thank you for watching us. Nitro, where can we find you outside of London's Burning?
At Nitro Typat on Twitter, and if you like robots as much as I do, which isn't possible, my Discord link is in my pinned tweet.
I like
Tina.
robots.
Where can we find you outside of London's Burning?
In our Discord.
Okay. Noscavian.
Yeah. I used to stream. I don't anymore.
Oh.
Greetings.
Where can we find you outside of here?
I guess the Discord. Yeah, pretty much.
And last but by no means least whatsoever, Traven. Where can we find you outside of here?
I'm usually hanging around either this Discord, sometimes Miss Hart's Discord, but I'm almost always on Twitch somewhere.
Do you have an OnlyFans? Because that's what I ask every single episode now.
Not yet.
Okay. We'll keep an eye out for that. Thank you all for coming. We'll see you hopefully Friday night.
Alrighty.
Bye. Just pretend Miss Hart said the thing.